Hi everyone, and welcome back to GameMaker Cast. It's Mickey, and in this video I want to talk about something that I've been working on in the background. As you may or may not already know, I have a particle editor up on itch.io. It's 100% free to use. It gives you a nice copy and paste to put your particles into your system, but I've had a bunch of requests. And this is where I've been working on the particle system version 2, or the particle editor version 2 I should say. Now this is going to follow the same kind of idea as the first one, where everything is 100% free. If you want the source code, it's just a small donation. Unless you're a Patreon subscriber, then you will end up getting that for free. Now this is the particle editor version 2 that we have in front of us. You can see it's very similar to the first particle editor. Now what I can do is I can rename this particle. I can change the emitter to something bigger. I have access to change the shape. I have some basics, motions, colors, etc. Now some of the new things that we can do is we can add new particles into the same system here. So I could say that this one is going to be something red, and I can go and I can still edit the original particle if I wanted to. Sorry, this one's green, but then I can switch to the new particle and I could change this one to red. So I'm able to access both of these particles and make changes on the fly without having to delete a particle, load it up, etc., etc. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a particle live. So I'm going to create a new particle, and we're going to start out with this. So I'm going to do File, and I'm going to save, and I'm going to save it inside this current project. Yes, that's right. The particle editor now comes with an API. Let's just name this one. Say this is raindrops.particle. Now I'm going to move this over here because we're going to come back and we're going to edit this actual raindrop. I'm going to go to the other API, and in here, basically I'm going to run this, and you can see that it's just a simple scene. There's nothing in here, it's just a quick little backdrop that I got off OpenGameArt. Now, how do I actually get that particle in there? Well, remember I saved that file, and I actually saved it so it would automatically go into my data files. Anytime that I compile my game, every single file that is in these data files gets shipped out with the game. So that means that you can have all your particles in your data files, and it will automatically just get shipped out, so you don't have to worry about it. But how do we actually load this particle up? Well, we'll go in the create event, and let's create a new reference to our API. So we'll say new particle API. And now we have to initialize it, meaning that it's going to go through and make sure that we have a particle system, we have all the emitters, everything is going to be set up in the background. Now let's actually add that particle. With the API, all we have to do is say particle_add, and we'll give it a name. So let's just one rain, and now we need the file. Remember, when I saved it, inside my included files, I saved it as raindrops. Raindrops.particle. Now, any single time that I want to do something to this particular particle, all I have to do is refer to this name. I no longer have to need the particle type, no longer have to figure out what emitter it's on or what particle system. I just pass in the actual name itself. So if I wanted to actually create a particle, so we'll say particle create. We want to create the rain particle, and let's do room width divided by 2, room_height divided by 2 to put it right in the middle. Now let's actually stream the particle. So with each system, you can do a particle stream, or you can do a particle burst. I'm going to stream my rain particle. I'm going to say it's going to be 2 particles every frame. So when I run this, you can see this is kind of what we have now. Now, kind of the general idea of this is you would have your game running. You'd say, okay, that particle doesn't look very good. I'm going to go back to the editor. I'm going to make some sort of change. I'm going to do file save, and then I'm going to close my game, reload it back up. Now, what if I can tell you that you don't really have to do that anymore? You will have to do it if you're going to move the emitter, but let's actually see what we can do here. So with the emitter, what I'm going to do, because we're doing rain, we're going to move this to the top. Now we're going to initialize our live reloading. So we could say set live reload. We're going to set it to true. Now by default, like I said, whenever we compile our game, GameMaker will take all of our data files and they will be put in some temporary directory. That's not really what I want, because all of my data files are actually inside another directory. They're inside this current project. So I need to tell GameMaker to use this directory in order to actually load those particles up. So I'll just copy my directory, and I'll say api.set directory, and I'm going to paste it in. Now I'll just make sure that I'm using a / on each one. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to run my game again. Now all I've really done is I've moved the emitter and I turned on live reload. So let me actually go back to my editor here. So I'm just going to leave my game running because it's at a spot where I can see my particles. And let's go ahead and let's change the circles to lines. Just do file save. And within the next couple seconds, you can see something happen here. It automatically reloaded. Yeah, it's off the screen, so let's give it some direction. Let's actually point it down. And what we'll do is we'll do a file save again. And what's going to happen is it's going to see that particle change. And now that particle system is automatically reloading. So what that means is we can easily come through here and we could easily create our particles. So let's do something really quick here. Let's make a nice rain particle. So we have some color that we want to change. Let's change it to a blue. Let's also change the scale to something a little bit more, set it at 0.1. And again, Control S to save. And over here is automatically going to update within the next couple seconds. So you can see that now we have a nice blue happening. Now it looks like everything is working, but I wanted to show you one more feature if that wasn't enough. I'm going to add a new particle here. So this particle I'm going to use when the rain actually stops and hits the ground or ends its lifetime. So let's actually name this. We'll name this one Splash. If we didn't already, we'll name the original particle Rain. And we'll just switch back to the Splash one, just so we can know which one we're working. Now the emitter, we're going to set it at 0. We're going to keep everything the same. The shape, we'll use a circle. Now for the alpha, we'll keep it pretty low. The size, let's start at 0, and then increase it by 0.01. And we'll leave the scale the same, motion the same. Now for speed, we don't want any speed. Again, this is going to be all 0. Direction, 0s. Orientation, all 0s. Now, I'm going to zoom in here, and I'll drag this one down so I can see what's happening. And we're going to make the scale a little bit different here. So I'm going to go and change my scale. Let's change this to something very relative here. 2.1. Bring it up a little bit. Okay, so we have this little raindrop here. How do we actually use this and attach it to the particle system? Well, all we have to do is go back to the main rain particle. We'll go over to events. Now we have access to the on step and the on death. On the death, we'll just add that splash effect. What's going to happen is the splash effect is going to start appearing on our rain particle here. Now I do have it set up a little bit differently, but you can see if I zoom in, we get that splash. So I'm going to make sure that I can 100% see the splash. I'll make sure that my alpha is nice and big, and then I'm going to switch back to the rain. I'm just going to go file save. Now I haven't touched anything in my game yet. I've just left it running. You can see that we do have those splash effects happening. So without actually doing anything, we're able to create the particles, we're able to see them in the game and see what changes need to be made. And for me, I think that's pretty awesome. Now, if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, but more importantly, there is a sign-up sheet in the description. If you want to have access to this before anyone else to help narrow out the bugs and get features in there, sign up on that sign-up sheet, and then the next couple days I'll be going through it and emailing out or contacting the people who signed up. But anyway, I hope you're as excited as I am for this particular project. I hope to get it out the door soon, and I hope to get it in everyone's hands so they can see how awesome it is. But thank you for watching.